Hi, welcome to Great Getaways. Well, we've got another great fall show for you today. We're in Grey County, Ontario, and I am with our good friend Brian Plumstead, who is the manager of tourism here in Grey County. Brian, you always show us a good time when we come over here. So much to do. What do you got planned for this trip?
Well, we've got a great fall getaway. We're starting off in Neustadt, and we're going to be looking at a brewery, having some great food, a beautiful overnight stay at Noah's Inn, and then we'll be going up into the Beaver Valley tomorrow.
Oh, beautiful area.
And then on to Blue Mountain. Coming back to Owen Sound and some scenic lookouts in the Bruce Trail. So we've got fall colors, great food, and we're gonna have a blast, Tom.
Oh man, you know, in the trips I've made in the past, I recognize all these areas you're talking about, and they are fantastic areas. We got a great show coming up. Stay with us. We're gonna get this started. Our trip starts in the quaint and historic town of Neustadt, Ontario. The founders of this town were all from Neustadt, Germany, and named the town in honor of their homeland. When the immigrants came, they brought their skills and a way of life with them. Many were stonemasons, and it shows as you walk through the village and tour the buildings. The Neustadt Brewery was a great example of this 18th century design, and it had many of the hidden secrets that only the townsfolk would have known about. We would learn more from Val Stimson, one of the owners of the brewery.
The brewery was founded in 1859 by a young man called Henry Heater, who was actually only 26 years old.
Wow.
But he commissioned 40 stonemasons to come over from Germany and build this fantastic building. It was actually a 3-story building, and it was built over the famous Crystal Springs, which is some of the finest and purest spring water in Ontario.
Val gave us some final instructions, such as don't touch the beer, darn, then took us on a guided tour and gave us a quick history of this landmark. We were soon descending into the underground storage of the brewery and were very careful to watch our step. If we slipped, it would be into a solid stone floor or wall. This is really neat because you're coming through all these little tunnels and it's dark, but now we're lit up again. Now what have we got here?
This is where the spring actually comes in through under the rocks there.
Okay.
It comes in and it actually goes, it doesn't look as if it's moving, but trust me, there's 33,000 litres a day comes in. It's ice cold. Trust me, put your hand in it so it is free.
Oh, that's ice cold.
Yeah. Some
That's
days
amazing.
down here you can see your breath.
Thanks, Val, for the underground tour. There's a very interesting fall tour that goes right through Neustadt, and it's called the Autumn Leaves Studio Tour. The tour is designed to explore the diverse range of artistic mediums. Our first stop on the tour would be at Richard Munn Pottery. We've got a couple of different things we're going to be doing here, and one of them is the Autumn Leaves Studio Tour. This is where we're going to go out. We're going to be meeting with different artisans around the area and learning about what they do and some of the great crafts that they have. I'm with Richard Mund right now, and Richard has a studio here, and your craft is pottery.
Absolutely, Tom. What I do, I focus primarily on decorated functional pottery. This is something I've been doing now for the past 11 years. I'm working here with what's referred to as a porcelaneous stoneware, which is a nice smooth clay. Basically, I weigh the clay out and the weight for the desired form and shape. The piece is wedged, it's placed on the wheel, I form it. I use a number of different ribs and profile tools in order to help obtain the shape that I'm after.
You have a pretty good idea then of the piece you're going to be working on when you work on it, and how much clay you actually need then to do it.
Absolutely, Tom. You know, all of my pieces here, you know, these are designs that I've made, and each bowl, you know, somewhat dictates to a certain function. You know, they're really simple forms that function well. They clean up nicely, and they're a desirable weight, and nice rounded edges, so they wear nicely and are very serviceable.
For more than 3 decades at his craft, artist Gary McLaughlin is bringing more confidence, skill, humor, and insight to his paintings than ever before. His accomplishments include magazines and book covers and limited edition sports prints. Reader's Digest and the Maple Leaf Gardens, just to name a few, have featured his artwork. When we stopped into his gallery, he was working on his latest project, a tribute to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Well, Gary, this is just amazing. There are so many people on here. You said there's over 700?
762 players.
Now, how long did it take you to do something like this?
This took 18 months from start to finish. That's starting with just as you saw with Montreal, a blank, almost blank canvas, to what you see today is, around 18 months.
Now, I see at either end we've got portraits that kind of stand out. Now, what's the significance?
This fellow right here his name is Carl Voss, and he was the very first maple leaf signed in February 1927 by the founder, Conn Smythe, whose portrait is up at the top in the 1927 logo. So this is a very, very first guy right here.
Okay, and we have one on this end. And
of course, is Matt's son, Dean. Matt's is the captain. He was the existing captain in 2007. This was capturing their 80 years. So after January, that was it, the cutoff. There was no more changes to this canvas.
Gary has since finished his piece on the maple leafs, and it hangs in the new Leafs training facility in Toronto. Gary has now embarked on his newest project, the 100 greatest boxers of all time. Well, the day had been fantastic, and we haven't even left the quaint little village. It was time to get a bite to eat and settle down for the night. We would have dinner and spend the night at Noah's Inn. We would settle in for dinner along with our host Brian Plumstead and his family, but before they arrived, I thought it would be only fitting to try some of this much-praised hometown beer. Soon everyone arrived, and we were joined by Brian's wife Susan, his daughter Hannah, and her friend Phoenix, and Phoenix's dad Scott. Come over and give us the specials, and I'll tell you what, the food sounds delicious. Brian, you've eaten here before?
We have, and it's amazing. It's a lot of local food, and it really changed the way we eat. Right when we came here, we had a grilled vegetable salad.
Ooh, and that sounds delicious.
Next day I came home, and Susie had been out shopping, and she said, Brian, get out to the barbecue, you're grilling vegetables.
There you go. You had them doing it right away, huh?
Yeah.
There was so much to pick from. Our meal was just fantastic.
This is so good.
We were on the road again and stopped for a cup of coffee in the little town of Holstein. When we walked in, it was a step back in time, as a lot of the locals sat around a wood stove drinking coffee and talking politics, both American and Canadian, trying to solve the world's problems. It was a great debate filled with things that most politicians don't understand. Common sense. Our next stop would be Garland's stained and textural glass. Part of the Autumn Leaves studio tour, it sits atop a high hill on the edge of the gorgeous Niagara Escarpment in the township of West Gray. We took a minute to meet the proprietors Angela Milan and Phyllis Gardon.
We sort of have three different facets to the business. We have supplies, we have church restorations, and we also have commission pieces for residential and commercial places as well. And our supplies, right now we have probably the largest supply of stained glass in the county.
General public, though, can also come in here and find pieces that you've already done?
That would be in our gallery section here, gallery art, ready to go, and prices, fit in everyone's budget. You can pick up something from $5 and up. Anything that someone has in their mind, in their imagination, we can create here. There's quite a few skilled people that work here, from artists, artisans, because we here at Garland Stained and Textural Glass, we also rent out the space. So for a couple dollars an hour, they can come here, use the facility, the design room, sandblasting room, kiln room, and the workshop, and all of our equipment. And then, of course, we just ask that you purchase the supplies here.
Well, it was time to slow down for a minute and have a little lunch. We stopped in at Munshaw's Bistro in Flesherton, a family-run eatery serving locally grown and produced food. It has gourmet dining and fine wines and features a gourmet chef. This is the great thing about traveling through this part of Ontario. It's filled with eateries of all kinds, and if you like trying new things, you'll never be disappointed. We had a wonderful lunch and we're ready to get started with the rest of our tour. We were joined by Heather Molnar, Tourism Assistant, Grey County, who would be our guide for the next part of our trip.
We are at Epping Lookout, just at the very top of the Beaver Valley, just off Grey Road 7.
So it's a great lookout any time of the year, especially in the fall with the fall colors. It's very well kept here with the picnic pavilion, some tables. There is washroom facilities as well, so they keep it up very well. So it's good to visit any time of the year, including the winter.
We're looking out over the Beaver Valley, and what a view you get from here. You can really stand down here and see just all the farmlands and the forest, and just an amazing sight when you come down here, especially with a day like today. We got the sun shining back there. Continuing our trip to the Beaver Valley, where the color was beyond brilliant. It was hard to find anything to say but ooh and ah during our fall road trip through the amazing valley. Late September and early October in Grey County, Ontario is uplifting and almost spiritual in its beauty and peaceful settings. One of my greatest fascinations about this area is the incredible Niagara Escarpment and the hiking trail they call the Bruce. Most of our viewers know how much I like to hike, and this is one of my favorite places to do it. Since the Bruce Trail was originally mapped out in the 1960s, the optimum route has always gone south to Hoggs Falls along the east side of the Beaver Valley and then back north along the valley's west side. The trail will now follow the optimum route to and from Hoggs Falls.
A magnificent piece of trail. We're quite proud of the fact that we opened it Labor Day weekend and that it's now an integral part of the main trail. So it adds 30 kilometers to the 890 kilometers or so of the main Bruce Trail.
One thing about this part of it now, we are going up and down through the valleys and up the hills, and it's a rather difficult trail?
Well, that's right. We had a number of people hike the whole 30 kilometers on Labor Day weekend when we opened it, and we had some complaints from folks who were saying, Jack, this is the toughest 30 kilometers on the Bruce Trail. Now they all did it in one day. It was a hot day, so that may have added to their discomfort. But all in all, it's a great section of trail, both from a perspective of being scenic. It's called the Falling Water Trail because you're never very far from the sound of or sight of falling water. There are any number of waterfalls up and down the section of the trail. All of them small streams feeding the main Beaver River system.
Okay.
So it's a great section of trail.
All right. What about the folks that maybe they'd like to get out here and take a look at it, but probably can't do the 30 kilometers? Is there a way that they can shorten the trail?
They can do that, sure. There are all sorts of smaller hikes that can be taken. You don't have to do the whole thing at once. You can do small loop hikes, like we're here at Hoggs Falls. There are a couple of nice loops here at Hoggs Falls, one about a mile long, 1.8 kilometers, the other about 3 miles long, about 4.8 kilometers. So folks can come and do that, or they can do other sections of it, 7 or 8 kilometer swatches, which makes it a whole lot easier than obviously trying to do the whole thing.
As we continue on, we soon came to the town of Meaford, located right on the Georgian Bay and known for its annual scarecrow invasion. As a matter of fact, they have so many scarecrows they set the Guinness World Record. Just watch as we tour this town. They are everywhere. We have to save time for the Scarecrow Parade and an interview with the head scarecrow. No, not Heather, but she would be in the parade. We are in downtown Meaford right now. You might see that it's kind of empty around here right now, and that's because there's a scarecrow invasion going on, and I am with the head scarecrow right now. Why don't you tell us, what is this all about?
Oh, this is a community event that is the most wonderful event I think we've ever had in the area. And it is it's a festival. It's the harvest. We are the apple capital of Ontario. And so having a scarecrow invasion when you are harvesting apples is a perfect thing to do.
So how many scarecrows have we actually got around here?
Well, we have had up to 2,000 scarecrows, and we don't count them necessarily, Tom. We simply put them up for people to enjoy and appreciate. We decorate the downtown as an event. We have a decorating committee that does this. And then what we do is we invite businesses, residents to decorate as well.
Okay, and if you drive through here and even into the outskirts of town, you're going to see scarecrows everywhere of all shapes and sizes. And we also have a parade going on today, is that right?
We do, and actually this is an event that has two parts. It has the invasion of scarecrows, which takes place just after Labor Day and is finished just after Thanksgiving. And then we have the big weekend. And the Scarecrow Invasion kicks it off with a big parade, and it's obviously a Scarecrow parade, and a family festival down at the harbor afterwards, and it's for children, it's for families, it's just an opportunity for us as a community and visitors, tourists, to get together and enjoy the fall.
This is a great tradition and something the whole family will enjoy. Now, what an unusual name, the 100-Mile Market. Let's stop in and see what this is all about. It's one of a kind in Ontario, only serving food and produce that were grown and produced within 100 miles of Meaford. That ends another incredible day, and it was just about time for the highlight of our trip. I would spend part of the next day going on the Treetop hike. What's a Treetop hike? Come on along and see for yourself.
Well, we've got a cold, crisp fall morning here, and Brian, you've got us up early, and you've got us going on a kind of an exciting adventure here. Why don't you tell us where we're at and what we're going to do?
Sure. We're at the top of Blue Mountain. We've just had a wonderful breakfast and a great overnight stay at the Blue Mountain Inn.
We did.
And now we're up at the Eco Adventure Tour at Scenic Caves Nature Adventures, right in the top of Blue Mountain. And we're in getting some instruction. We're going to get harnesses on, get our caving helmets on, and get ready to go up on a treetop walk. But the Treetop Walk is about 3 or 4 years old, and we actually will be going up, I think, for anywhere from about 20 to 50 to 70 feet high, up in the treetops, walking along.
Yay. Okay, I am excited, really. You know what? It sounds like a lot of fun. I know we're going to be on harnesses up there, so you don't have to worry too much. It is safe to do. And we're going to go up there and have some fun. I hope we got a lot of other people with us today, and we should have a good time.
Right on. Let's go get our harnesses.
Let's do it.
Okay, Brian, I'm ready to be fitted with all the safety gear to make this the hike of my life. Our guides explained how to put on the equipment and personally checked each rope to make sure it was snug and safe. Even Denny had to be outfitted with the safety equipment, so if he should fall, all he would lose is the camera. Knowing Denny, he would probably rather put all the gear on the camera. We all lined up in a circle and told a little bit about ourselves, such as our name, where we were from, and our last will and testament. Just kidding about the last part. Kinda. Once we were outfitted and on our way, we crossed over a swinging bridge with an incredible view of the Georgian Bay. Everyone stopped to take pictures of each other along with the view. We were no exception. Well, it was time. We had reached our destination. Filled with excitement, I did have some anxiety. I guess you always do when you're trying something new.
We've got all our instructions. As you can tell, people are climbing the stairs now to get up on the walkway. We'll probably be going up here at the end, I think. And that way we can kind of take our time and move along at our pace and hopefully not fall off. I guess we don't have to worry. I'm not worried so much about myself. Danny's going to be sitting there trying to hold it. Yeah, oh, that's it. So it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully we get a chance to talk to some of the other folks along the way too and find out what they think about this. So let's do it.
High among the 200-year-old oak trees, up 60 feet above the ground, get ready for an experience like no other. Explore the beauty and wildlife of this picturesque forest valley at the top of Blue Mountain as you become one with the birds.
You know, part of the reason we're over here is to do a color tour, and I can't think of a better way to do a color tour than to actually get up into the trees and look at it, and that's what we're doing today, climbing through these treetops. This is pretty phenomenal.
Pretty neat. Now, you notice the trees here are still a bit green. I think it's the warm air off of Georgian Bay. It's just keeping this area a little bit green where you've been out in the Beaver Valley, other places are starting.
Yes,
Throughout your tour, your guide will deliver interesting facts and information about the history of the area and about the unique ecology of the Niagara Escarpment. Your treetop walk will take you 600 meters across 10-inch wide bridges, suspended as close to the treetops as possible.
We're up pretty high right now.
Yeah, we are at this corner. Now I see we have some crossboards. Is that because this does get slippery, these boards?
Yeah, because we still go rain or shine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it does help give you a little better footing as you go down, because we're going down a little bit of a hill here, and we're going to go up on the other side and it's set up the same way, so you get a little better grip.
You got it.
Well, you're getting a different look at us now. Denny's actually gone down a set of stairways. It's, like I said, they had them out here. And he's going to shoot us from down on the ground now and give you a look at what it's like looking up to us. So, should be interesting. We'll try not to fall on you.
Of course, it's absolutely safe, but the excitement of being so high above the ground overlooking the huge vistas gives a physical experience unlike anything else. The sway of the bridges and cables causes you to constantly readjust your balance and you become aware of your own courage.
Okay, just want to show you real quick. This is really eco-friendly out here. As you can see, there are no nails used in any of this stuff. You can see how everything is strapped on to trees, and the stairways and everything are strapped on like this. So you're not hurting the environment at all out here.
Treetop walking certainly delivers a thrill. You end the treetop walk with an incredible ride on a 300-foot zip line or a ladder return to the ground.
Now, I see people going down in different ways. Some people going upside down, backwards, forwards. So you kind of have a choice when you get to this point of which way you want to go. Okay, I'm going to just go forward because I'm going to try to snap a picture going down.
Right on.
And hopefully I'll be able to do that. So I'm going to walk onto this first and to the edge of the platform here, correct? Okay. All right. Yeah? Why does it feel that way? Steps to nowhere. Okay, hold on just a second. Let me get ready. I guess.
Okay.
Now it was my turn, and here I go. Just totally incredible.
And we're kind of psych ourselves out here too, because we came down the one zip line. That was the short one. We're going down 1,000-footer now. The other one was about 300. If I can stop screaming long enough, I'll tell you what it's like going down there. I'm going to try to snap a couple of pictures going down too. We'll be traveling upwards of 40 to 45 miles an hour going down, 1,000 feet. Hopefully the brakes work. So far, so good. They seem to be getting off safe down there, so we'll see how it works. Okay, now it's this great stairway. All right, on my way. All right, whoa, geez. This kind of a freaky feeling going down here. I mean, really kind of freaky. I don't know what's going on. We'll spin around, see if I can shoot back up. I don't know if I'm getting any kind of shots. This is wild. There we are. We have got to the bottom.
I don't think I've ever done anything quite so exhilarating as walking in the trees and going down a 1,000-foot zip line. Well, unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, as it is with this trip and today's show. If you enjoyed today's show and would like more information for your own great getaway, you can get a free guide. It's available from the number on your screen. We have added a new feature on our site for your enjoyment and to give you more information about our trip, to help you plan your own. We have added extra video content that we did not have time for on today's show, including extended clips on features from this episode and completely new adventures and stops. The special clips include the Tommy Thompson Art Gallery and gravesite. Tommy Thompson was an artist whose love of painting was developed in the Algonquin National Park, the same park that would take his life on a future trip. You can meet the mayor of Meaford, enjoy great food at Rocky Raccoons in Oliver and Bonassini, watch extended interviews from folks in today's show, and a lot more surprises like the famous Grandma Lambs. Just point your browser to greatgetaways.tv and on our homepage, click on Travel Planners.
Well, as we finish this fall color tour through Gray County, we wanted to take you on one short jaunt to end it, and we've come up the Bruce Trail and we are now standing on what is known as Skinner's Bluff.
Yes, Tom, we're right on the edge of the Niagara Escarpment, looking out over Georgian Bay. You can see the sunlight illuminating those fall colors in the distance, and it's one of our spectacular scenic lookouts.
And you know what? The whole trip was great. We've had a chance to see a whole lot of Grey County and the color to go along with it. So we've had just a great trip up here. If you need more information on Grey County, you can go to our website at greatgetaways.tv. And I think that's going to about do it for the day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.